Hi, this is Jonathan. Today we're going to feature a pedal board amp, right? So this is the BlackStar AMPED. If you're new to this channel, you might just want to subscribe to this channel and press the bell for notification of future videos that follow. Be part of the Patreon to support this channel. I would appreciate it. I want to thank City Music for passing me this amp in a pedal, right, for review. I have so far reviewed the amp, the white one, the M2, red one, and the M3. Now this is more or less a high gain version of the previous two models. So if you want to take a look at the other two models, they are about the same. There's certain things that are different. Basically, this has a lot more gain than the red one. So on the front panel, you will see 4-foot switches here. So basically, these are all assigned to different tasks. Basically, you have a clean, crunch, overdrive, and then there's a boost switch. If you hold on to this switch, you will activate the manual mode. So what it means is that you can actually program and kind of set all your sounds, the adjustment you want in the Architect software, and save it as clean, crunch, and overdrive when it's in program mode. And if you hold on to the boost foot switch, you will go into manual mode where you can kind of adjust it to your liking, and it will not affect the programmed patches. Here you have the reverb, where you can just on and off if you want to. Now there are a couple of switches here. So on the top left you have the gain and the volume, and then followed by the boost, where you can select within pre or post boost. So if you're selecting pre, it means that you're driving more boost into the amp stage to give you more saturation. Post, it will just bring up the overall volume. You have the reverb, where you are given a choice of dark and light, so there are different textures. You can tell. Then there is the presence switch, where you have the high frequency of the EQ being enhanced more. I like the presence switch, as you all might know, because yeah, I just like my cleans to be a little bit more crispier and bell-like. Then you have the master volume. Now on the second level, you have the EQs. You have bass, mid, and treble, and then you the USF, where you can select between different amp models, like the UK models as opposed to the US models. So you can kind of like dial in the sound that you want. For me, this is more like another stage of EQ, where you can kind of sweep around and select a sort of feel you want this amp to be. That's it. And then on the power amp section here, you have two dip switches, where you can select between the EL84, EL34, and SL6 tube simulation, right? So you can just kind of like toggle it around. And then you have the power, where you can dictate how much power this is going to drive your cabinet. You have power ranging from 1 watt, 20 watts to 100 watts. So this can drive a cab, a true life cab, not a cab sim. So I didn't have the chance to test this out through a speaker cabinet, in which case let's just go through the back panel. So on the left hand side, you have in and out, right? And then you have the effects loop, stand and return, and you are giving a dip switch, to adjust how much volume, plus 4 dB or minus 10 dB. Then you have the USB for you to hook up to your computer, where this can act as an interface, this unit as an interface if you want to, or you can have firmware download, software download into this unit, into the Architect software, where you can link up to the Architect software. You can do more adjustments through that software. And then you have two sets of line out for phones, that's what I was using, line out to my interface. And then you have a Canon XLR for you to line up to the other outputs if you need to, or to a mixer board, to the FOH or to whatever you're connecting to. And then there's a level switch for you to kind of fine tune if there's not too much, if you're lacking of line level, you can kind of boost this up if you want to. Then you have a cute little fan here. And now you have the speaker output, which you are given two options, the 8 ohm and 16 ohm, and a MIDI in and through, which they provide MIDI cables for. Really good. And then the best part of this whole thing is the high pot outputs, or rather the outputs, the 9 volt, right? 9 volt 5 MA output for your pedals, if you choose to connect pedals to this amp, if you need to. And then you have the power on and power off switch, and then the power input, a 3-pin power input. The back panel, straightforward. This is heavy. Don't let it fall on your head, on your feet, let alone your head. This is kind of heavy, and there are sharp edges, so be careful. All right. So basically, you have a amp in a box. Just like the AMP2. Like I said again, this has higher gain, and you can tell when you crank up the gain switch over here, and you are given options of OD1, overdrive 1, and overdrive 2 for your overdrive channel. And then you are given two settings for crunch and super crunch, which there is a very obvious difference, So basically, in a live situation, you're using this with 3 foot switch program. So you can go clean for your rhythm parts and then crunch when it comes to the chorus, and then kick in the overdrive for your solo. Now, this will do well with a volume pedal if you need to. If you don't want to use a volume pedal and you just want to go volume pedal free, then do the boost, right? So you can hook up another boost pedal for you to put more input into this amp, and then have this boost setting as a volume boost, right? The overall volume boost. And then when you're doing a solo, you're just kicking that boost switch here, and your volume will go up substantially. Cool. Now, the software. Now, the software is really helpful for you if you need to tweak other stuff like, the speaker cabinets, the microphones, that you're going to use for which cabinet. You're given a whole choice of cabinets to choose from, and then what sort of microphone, what's the distance like, further EQ. Cool. All these are given to you. All the options are given to you. You can actually save it in your patch. Again, you can also EQ and do whatever, your reverb and everything on the Architect software if you choose to. But if you're old school like me, you want to do this here, you can do that. I've yet to find a way to save this like on the unit. There must be a way to do it, but right now the only way I can save whatever I'm doing on a manual mode is through the Architect software, where I can kind of save it into patches. So yeah, basically that's it. And if you are like, in a gig, and you find that the program is not happening, you can always switch to manual mode by, like I said, like you're holding down the boost button and it goes into manual mode, and you can kind of like adjust to your liking. That's a good option to have. Right, I also created 3 patches which I'm going to upload to my Google Drive. So I'm going to put a link in the description. So for those of you guys who own this, you can kind of download my patches and see what you can take from there. Cool. Great little amp in a pedal format. I will use this with additional pedals, like since there's a send and return effects loop, I could hook it to a delay, or probably a delay. I don't need the reverb. The reverb sounds pretty decent. Probably need a delay and probably a booster, like I said before, coming into this unit. A compressor would be good, so if I can get one of those compressor and booster built into one, like the NUX Natsumi, that would be good, so I can hook my guitar into this Natsumi and Natsumi booster and compressor into this unit, and then from the effects out, I can hook up my tremolo, chorus, delay, time-based unit, and you're good to go. And this will probably take up a couple of pedal space, so your pedal board is going to be like relatively big, not huge, just easily managed. Yeah, and you can go for a gig with this. Cool. And you don't even need an amp, and you don't even need a speaker cabinet. You can just hook this right up to the FOH and you're in business, right? So I think this is meant for the hard rock and metal consumers, so it's something to look at. And I don't play metal, so I try. I think I fail terribly, but I try. Yeah, I think it'd be good for the metal heads, because there's enough gain for you to kind of like mess around with other stuff, even with the booster. Yeah, it's kind of a good option to have. Let me know what you think about this pedal or this amp in a pedal, and leave your comments in the comment section down below. I want to hear from you. Now, units available in City Music, who has incidentally just shifted from their old place to a new premise come 3 weeks from now. Yeah, so I'm really excited for the new place, the new premise. But in the meantime, you can get this online. You just head on down to City Music online, and you can purchase this if you need to, right? Too bad you can't try in the shop. Yeah, or you wait until the premise is up, and then you can go up there and give it a try if you need to. Now, of course, this unit is available in Sweetwater and other places in North America, Canada, you know, so yeah, just take a look at that. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, and press that bell for notification of future videos to follow, and be part of the patrons to support this channel. I want to thank all my patrons for their wonderful love, their friendship, and their support. Thank you so much, guys. Meantime, take care of yourself, and I'll see you real soon. Au revoir.